On ordinary days, nobody really notices the tiny dewdrops floating in the gray sky. But if you look closely, they bring their own unique beauty to life. Sometimes, silence isn't just the absence of sound. It's a way to listen to the most delicate things in life. No matter what happens, whether good luck or misfortune, life goes on without any predictions. That's the beauty of uncertainty, where we are free to explore and experience new things without being tied down by any rules or standards. 1. Silence is the wisest response. Silence is a concept that captures many people's interest nowadays, though everyone interprets it differently. In communication, silence can be defined as holding back and enduring intense situations without engaging in unnecessary arguments. Silence is golden is a proverb advising us to avoid unnecessary conflicts. There's a saying, "It takes 2 years to learn to talk, but a lifetime to learn to be silent." This emphasizes the importance of listening over speaking. During conflicts, words spoken in anger can hurt others deeply. Thus, silence can sometimes be more valuable than many words. But is silence always golden? Should we be silent in the face of evil or injustice? Should we remain quiet during debates when we have well-thought-out opinions? Silence in these situations means losing oneself and compromising with wrongdoings. So, when should we be silent? Pythagoras said, "Silence is the highest wisdom." Martin Luther King Jr. said, "Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter." Silence is the highest form of wisdom in life. It helps us know when to speak and what to say. Silence is wise because it keeps us from saying unnecessary things that could harm us or others. Silence is smart because it protects secrets, allows us to listen, learn, and show respect. It shows calmness, maturity, and self-awareness before speaking or acting. Silence keeps peace in conflicts and can express agreement or disagreement with issues. It helps us empathize with others' pain and appreciate life's beauty. Silence is also love, forgiveness, and life itself. Remember, sometimes silence is the best answer. Martin Luther King Jr.'s quote reminds us of the danger of remaining silent on important issues. Speaking up is vital for the truth, justice, and love for people and life. Speaking up shows confidence and addresses important life issues. Is silence always golden? Sometimes we need to speak up to help others, resolve conflicts, or protect the truth. But other times, silence is more powerful and meaningful. Silence can be a wise, unspoken language that's hard to practice. 1. Jealousy and gossip. Jealousy is hating those who are better off than us. In school, it's common to envy smarter students. At work, people envy those who are more skilled, trusted, or higher paid. This bitterness leads to jealousy, which prevents us from enjoying life. As Balzac said, jealousy causes more pain than any other suffering. When facing a rival's success, stay calm and optimistic. Believe in yourself and your future. Remember, failure is the mother of success. Jealousy harms both body and mind. Instead, focus on doing good deeds. Harming others ultimately harms oneself. 2. Responding to praise. When praised for our skills, it's because we've done well. However, everyone has strengths and weaknesses. Don't become arrogant. Appreciate praise but stay humble. Success often involves help from others. Remember, water can lift a boat but also sink it. 3. Comforting others. Being empathetic means sharing others' joy and sorrow. Don't laugh when someone cries. Respect others' emotions and understand different ways people express grief. Sometimes silence is the best comfort. 4. Respecting others' thoughts. Silence is crucial for intellectual activities. It fosters creativity, understanding, and personal growth. Goethe said, "Talent is nurtured in solitude." 5. When not understood. No one fully knows your struggles. Everyone has their perspective. Don't force others to understand. Be open and social, but if others don't understand, it's best to remain silent. Forcing your view might cause conflict. 6. On unfamiliar topics. Speak only on topics you understand well. Edison said, "What we know is a drop. What we don't know is an ocean." Socrates admitted, "I know that I know nothing." 7. Dealing with boasting. Wise people speak less and listen more. Avoid arguing with boastful people. Recognize that true understanding often requires silence. 8. When your opinion isn't needed. Avoid meddling in others' affairs. Too much talking can lead to mistakes. Gibbon said, "Discussion increases knowledge, but silence is the school of wisdom." 9. Waiting for an answer. When questioning a loved one and not receiving the expected response, don't pressure them. Silence can prompt thoughtful answers. Tzu taught, silence, listening, remembering, acting, and wisdom are 5 levels of intelligence. In life, few people are willing to listen and be silent. Many prefer talking to feel important. However, wisdom lies in knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. Reflecting on my past, I realized that true wisdom often involves listening more and speaking less. Life is full of colors. Young people often talk without thinking, while older people reflect more. Ultimately, only through dedication and patience can we truly appreciate the beauty of life, often found in silence. Silence is golden. Words can be valuable too. Knowing when to speak and when to be silent is crucial. Silence can be love, forgiveness, and life itself. We must learn to communicate effectively, speaking up when necessary and remaining silent when appropriate. Listening is as important as speaking. Effective listening involves respecting others, understanding issues, and improving our focus. In work, it builds connections and improves collaboration. In life, it fosters strong relationships. Listening is crucial for understanding others and building empathy. Statistics show that we spend 53% of our time listening, but only retain 25 to 30% of what we hear. Ineffective listening often stems from environmental distractions or personal attitudes. Good listening involves focusing fully on the speaker and understanding their perspective. Listening is a skill that needs continuous practice. It helps us build better relationships, understand others, and succeed in life. By truly listening, we show respect and empathy, creating a positive impact on those around us. 2. Tips for practicing silence in communication. 1. Think before you speak. One key trait of quiet people is their ability to stay calm and think carefully. They don't rush to react or give their opinion right away. Instead, they listen attentively, silently analyze, and formulate their thoughts before contributing to the discussion. This not only helps them express their views confidently, but also avoids unnecessary or potentially misleading statements. Taking the time to consider your words increases your chances of making wise decisions and helps maintain healthy relationships and a positive work environment. Thoughtful speech targets the core of issues and can even prevent unnecessary conflicts by choosing the right words carefully. 2. Maintain calmness, patience, and composure. Staying calm and patient in all communication situations is very important. You may have noticed that people who don't talk much often bring a sense of peace and can ease tension. Their silence can create a quiet space for you and others, giving everyone time to think clearly and respond appropriately. Leaders who can remain calm and avoid hasty judgments often make a strong, positive impression on others. They frequently show their calmness through body language and a gentle tone, creating an appealing and friendly personal image. This increases the value of learning to be silent, not just speaking less, but also improving how you present yourself and your natural demeanor in communication. 3. Speak only when necessary. Instead of filling the space with unnecessary words, enhance the quality of the conversation by choosing your words carefully so that each one has value. People will find it more interesting and pay more attention when they know you speak only when you have something valuable and considered to share. If your habit is to talk carelessly, your words might not be taken seriously. In contrast, selective speech not only increases the persuasiveness and weight of your words, but also shows respect for the listener's time and attention. One way to maintain balance is to practice sincere listening and ask smart questions that show your interest in others. Also, remember that silence shouldn't be seen as a sign of rejection or dissatisfaction. Instead, it should be viewed as a technique to better control what you want to convey. 4. Practice listening without interruption. In any social interaction, being a good listener is extremely important. Part of this includes avoiding interrupting others when they are expressing their views, unless it's really necessary. Interfering with someone's speech not only disrupts their thought process, but also shows a lack of respect. Let others finish their thoughts and take a moment to ask yourself, how have you contributed to the conversation? Have you listened enough? If you find you've been silent for a while, wait until the other person finishes their thoughts before sharing your perspective. Choose the right moment to speak important things, aiming to create more impact and value with your words. If you keep your words meaningful and think carefully before speaking, your calm and assured attitude will be reinforced, making everything you say more valuable and meaningful. 5. Motivate the conversation by asking questions directed at others. Asking questions is an extremely important communication skill, especially those designed to delve deeply into the experiences and views of the person you're talking to. People often get excited when they have a chance to talk about themselves, and paying attention to listening to them not only makes them feel cared for, but also creates a positive impression of you. Silence doesn't necessarily mean the absence of words, but using words selectively, asking smart questions, and presenting clear viewpoints. This doesn't mean you have to stay completely silent, but knowing how to choose intelligent questions and the right time to ask them. 6. Maintain an appropriate tone in communication. When you join a conversation or debate, keeping your tone light and pleasant will ease the atmosphere and show respect for the other person. People with a quiet demeanor are often seen as polite and gentle when they express their views, even in tense situations. In fact, calm people rarely let emotions overshadow reason and often express surprise or discontent through body language rather than words.
If you like this video, please comment 1. And if you don't, comment 2. Your feedback means a lot to us. Thank you for your valuable time.
3. Practicing silence throughout the day. 1. Develop a quiet hobby. Learning to be silent when we're alone not only creates inner peace, but also helps us stay calm when interacting with others. A great way to cultivate this quietness is by finding a hobby that requires silence and practicing it alone if possible. Explore activities like drawing, writing, yoga, composing music, collecting stamps, bird watching, or any other task that involves immersing yourself in silence and not expressing your thoughts outwardly. Reading is not just a relaxing activity, but also a fantastic way to practice silence as you get lost in the words and stories, temporarily leaving the outside world behind. Start by dedicating at least 1 hour to your quiet hobby and gradually increase it to 2-3 hours, or even aim for a full day of silence. Can you do it? 2. Release energy in other ways. Sometimes we talk too much because we have excess energy that we don't know how to release. Finding a new way to manage these restless thoughts can be helpful. Physical activities like running are effective ways to use your body and release extra energy. Activities such as hiking, cooking, or even dancing can help you relax and unwind. Find the method that works best for you to turn energy into positive actions. 3. Limit the temptation of online chatting. Online communication can easily become a source of unnecessary noise, where much of what we share lacks significance. Instead of continuing this habit, why not opt for a phone call or meet friends in person rather than constantly texting? The next time you feel the urge to chat online, try turning off your devices and go for a walk to reconnect with yourself and the world around you in a direct and mindful way. 4. Take a break from social media. Temporarily stepping away from platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and other social media can be a smart move, especially if we find ourselves spending too much time on them. These sites are often full of noise, attention-seeking content, and purposeless conversations that make us feel obligated to participate. If quitting entirely seems hard, limit your social media time to 10-15 minutes a day. This will help you manage your time better and stay away from unnecessary distractions. Setting this limit not only helps you control your time, but also allows you to reconnect with loved ones in real life, focusing on meaningful conversations rather than being overwhelmed by distant echoes on the internet. 5. Keep a journal regularly. Keeping a daily or weekly journal helps you organize and reflect on your thoughts and provides a chance to practice silence. By journaling, you can fill pages with thoughts and feelings instead of seeking validation through unnecessary conversations. Recording daily events helps you question and explore yourself more deeply while creating a quiet space to listen to yourself. You might be surprised to find that maintaining a daily journal gradually extends your periods of silence, allowing you to develop this ability naturally. It's also a way to manage and organize your thoughts, making you feel heard without speaking. 6. The essence of meditation. Meditation is not only a spiritual activity but also a scientifically proven method to help us achieve inner peace and improve physical health. It is the art of bringing the mind to a state of no thoughts, creating space for our bodies to rest and rejuvenate. Every morning, spend 10 to 20 minutes finding a comfortable spot, maybe a quiet corner in your home or your favorite garden. Sit down, close your eyes, and gently guide yourself into your inner world through each breath. Start by consciously relaxing each muscle group in your body, from head to toe, and gradually become sensitive to every sound, scent, sensation, and awareness around you during meditation. Let negative thoughts pass by like smoke, without touching or lingering. Live fully in each moment, appreciate the silence, and you'll find that focus and peace will follow you throughout the day. Meditation also helps manage emotions, reduce stress, and control yourself gently yet effectively. 7. Connect with nature. Connecting with nature has a magical power to rejuvenate our spirit and vitality. Treat yourself to short trips, whether it's a stroll through the park, a visit to a peaceful beach, or simply observing the green trees from afar. On weekends, consider a trip to an old forest to explore, breathe fresh air, and reconnect with the basic elements of life. When we immerse ourselves in the beauty and intense energy that nature offers, our doubts and worries seem to dissolve. It's hard to stay stressed about school or work pressures when standing before the majestic view of a historical mountain. Making a habit of weekly nature visits can become an essential part of your life. Learning to be silent is a complex process that requires continuous self-improvement. Silence is not only part of becoming a better listener, but also helps us develop self-control and communicate more wisely. When you learn to use silence strategically, You not only improve your communication skills, but can also create positive changes in all your relationships. 4. Why is silence sometimes more powerful than words? While words are powerful in certain situations, silence can be the key to changing your life. Language is a tool for communication. A friend once told me that language holds great power, but not everyone understands it. If a person repeats the same thing over a long period, these words can act like a prophecy, influencing their life positively or negatively. One person I greatly admire for his speaking skills is Zhuge Liang. He demonstrated incredible eloquence, often resolving critical situations with his words. However, using language requires caution. Misusing words in inappropriate situations can damage personal relationships. A single incorrect word in a business contract can lead to significant financial loss. I once read a quote online: "When you speak, make sure your words have value. If not, stay silent." If verbal communication isn't effective, it's better to remain silent. Learning to speak well is challenging, but learning to stay silent is even harder. Indeed, mastering the art of silence at the right moments is considered a form of effective communication. Sometimes, silence holds more power than words. For example, in a conflict between two people, one keeps talking while the other remains silent and listens. People tend to believe that the silent person is wiser. They use the power of silence to draw attention, demonstrating that silence is golden in this scenario. This shows the skill of those who know when to stay silent. Silence doesn't mean agreement. It's a way of protecting oneself. Inappropriate words can backfire, leading to worse outcomes. Therefore, silence can be the best option. There is a story about a company where, during a meeting, the director asked for ideas and suggestions. Everyone eagerly contributed, except for one young man who stayed silent throughout. The director noticed and asked why he didn't share any ideas. The young man replied that since he was new, he preferred to listen and learn from others. The director found this intriguing. Although he said nothing, he began to pay attention to the young man, who was later promoted to the director's personal assistant. Even though some contributions during the meeting were commendable, why did the director favor the silent young man? The young man wasn't lacking in speaking skills. His words showed he was knowledgeable and humble, eager to learn. He was smart, conserving his energy. Though he didn't speak as eloquently as others, his timely silence caught the director's attention, which is a skill in itself. The young man's silence conveyed two things. First, he expressed his need to learn from others as a newcomer. Second, he used the opportunity to present himself positively to his boss. His humble attitude drew the director's attention, leading to his promotion. From this story, we can see that sometimes silence is more powerful than words. Those who know when to stay silent are wise. In some situations, speaking can be harmful and silence becomes the smarter choice. 5. Learning the art of silence. Understanding without speaking. In today's information-saturated society, knowing how to stay silent has become an essential skill. Silence not only helps us improve our listening skills, but is also crucial for effective communication, showing respect, and understanding others deeply. In this video, Ngon Den Tri Thuk will guide you on how to practice silence and apply it in daily life. You'll see the value of speaking less, listening more through various specific situations. Silence isn't just about not speaking. It's an active action and a significant part of nonverbal communication. When we choose silence, it can be a method for us to absorb, analyze, and empathize more deeply with the message someone is trying to convey. By focusing on the speaker without the intention to respond immediately, we open up the ability to understand their perspective better, helping us react intelligently and appropriately. Silence in communication helps us become better listeners and allows us to control our emotions. When feeling anxious, angry, or wanting to react quickly, silence gives us time to think and respond more thoughtfully. However, using silence incorrectly can cause misunderstandings or create distance in relationships. Therefore, learning the proper way to be silent is very important. Part of developing the skill of silence is learning to read nonverbal cues from others. Silence can be accompanied by body language, eye contact, and gestures, which provide valuable information about someone's emotions and reactions. To understand the meaning behind silence, you need to become sensitive to these signals. Additionally, practicing meditation and mindfulness can help you become more aware of the space between thoughts and actions, between emotions and speech. This can enhance your ability to manage immediate reactions and allow you to choose silence as an intentional response rather than a natural reflex. In practice, silence can be a powerful tool in many situations. In an argument, a pause can calm the tension and create space for reflection. In business, silence can encourage others to express their thoughts, creating opportunities to understand their perspectives and find the best solutions. In personal relationships, silence shows patience and willingness to listen, qualities essential for building trust and mutual understanding. In the grand scheme of communication skills, learning to stay silent can be considered an equally important art. There are moments when silence is not just golden but a savior, helping us avoid unwanted consequences. Contrary to common belief, silence isn't always a sign of surrender or helplessness. It can be a smart strategy in many social and professional situations. Research shows that a significant portion of our communication, estimated at around 93%, is nonverbal. This implies that what is not said can be as important as what is spoken, especially in human relationships. An interesting fact about communication is that many people tend to talk more than they listen. Some even feel they will be left out or lose track if they don't continuously participate in the conversation. However, the truth might be surprising. Silence allows us to become calmer, enabling us to listen more attentively and meticulously. It not only improves the quality of the conversation, but can convey a powerful message without words. When we choose to stay silent and focus on others, we have a better chance to absorb what they are trying to communicate, including both spoken words and body language. These insights can enhance the quality of the dialogue and help us achieve a deeper connection with the other person without needing many words. Silence gives us the necessary time to reflect and consider all aspects of an issue before responding. In crucial moments, when thorough consideration and evaluation of the situation are needed, silence becomes a powerful tool, helping us pause and avoid making hasty judgments or decisions. Continuous talking can lead us to miss important information from others or not have enough time to consider all angles. This can result in misunderstandings and hasty decisions that we might regret later. Staying silent allows us to absorb information and also helps us process and reflect on it. Silence not only maintains respectful boundaries in conversations, but can also prevent unnecessary conflicts. The skill of silence shows a desire not to cause harm to others. It represents emotional control, understanding that words spoken in anger can severely damage relationships and make us feel regretful later. In reality, silence helps us listen better. When we choose not to speak, we also choose to open our hearts and minds to understand and empathize with the other person. This respect can encourage the other person to reflect and change their approach to the issue being discussed. 6. What is silence? When we talk about the ability to speak, it's not just about speaking well, speaking correctly, or speaking effectively. There is also the skill of not speaking, yet saying everything. The English have a saying, "Empty vessels make the most noise, still waters run deep." A person who can control their speech earns respect and acceptance from others and avoids many troubles. We are slaves to every word we speak, so mastering the skill of silence is essential. Words are like bullets. Once fired, they cannot be taken back and their impact can be significant. Studies show that higher-pitched, shriller voices negatively affect the nervous system. So, if our words are not kind, pleasant, or sincere, they are like salt on a wound. Only sincere and careful words help nurture the soul. The Arabs also have a saying, "Speech is worth one coin, but silence is worth two." Words reflect your inner world. Therefore, if you think you might say something that could be misunderstood or misrepresent you, it's best to stay silent. If you find these stories inspiring and they motivate you to take action, please comment 9. If not, comment 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Thank you for your valuable time. 7. The Power of Silence. If you've ever read Stephenie Meyer's novel Twilight, you'll understand the strong allure of silence. Why is an ordinary girl like Bella Swan so attractive to the vampire Edward Cullen? It's because Edward has the extraordinary ability to hear everyone's thoughts, except Bella's. Not knowing what the other person is thinking can make them more intriguing. Similarly, in any relationship, if you reveal your intentions too clearly, you might be judged or lose favor in the eyes of others. So, staying silent, listening, and choosing your words wisely, being smart, subtle, and humorous is the key to success. 8. Silence is the source of life. In the book, A Book of Silence, author Sarah Maitland describes the fear and dislike people have toward silence. It seems like humans never want silence. For example, when you go to a mall or a cafe, there's always music playing. At home, you might turn on the TV even if you're not watching it. When you have some free time, you want to chat, as if silence is the same as loneliness. Only when there's noise do people feel alive. Maybe we've forgotten that silence is the true sound of life. Light, the rising tide, the growth of cells, they all happen without making a sound. People fear silence because we don't understand its true meaning. Silence doesn't just mean the absence of noise, it means much more. Silence is a natural phenomenon, the source of creative energy that we all depend on. 9. Silence helps us live longer. People are used to living in a noisy world filled with various sounds. Noise isn't just annoying, it can be harmful. A study from Cornell University, New York, USA, found that office workers who constantly hear phone rings, fax machines, and shredders have high levels of adrenaline in their urine. In contrast, employees working in quiet offices have much lower adrenaline levels in their urine. They also feel more relaxed and less stressed. When given puzzles to solve, the noisy group quickly got frustrated and gave up. This behavior was very different from the quiet group. The study also showed that employees in quiet offices slept better at night, had better digestion, felt satisfied with their workday, and didn't get irritated when they got home. In short, a noisy environment only reduces productivity and increases negative feelings. 10. The meaning of silence. 1. Silence boosts creativity. To enhance your creativity, you need to work in a quiet environment. Many people enjoy listening to music while working, but music or TV noise can reduce your concentration. You should only listen to music when doing tasks that don't require much thought, like cleaning the house. Creativity thrives in a quiet setting. This is why Poets, writers, strategists, intelligence experts, and inventors often work in silence. 2. Silence builds trust. When you're silent, your ego takes a break. Without your ego's constant chatter, you have the chance to see through the noise. You can then hear your inner voice. Instead of listening to others, listen to yourself. Rely on your own limits and abilities to set a direction that suits you. 3. Silence gives you a chance to rest. This world is so active that we're always restless, never truly settled. This restlessness shows that there's too much noise in your head, preventing you from resting and enjoying the moment. So, spend more time each day enjoying the quiet, breathing, and recharging your energy. 4. Silence allows you to listen. Silence not only helps you listen to others, but also to yourself. Inner silence helps your heart become as vast as the sky, learning to be forgiving, and as deep as the ocean, learning to let go of trivial matters. This is a significant aspect of silence in life. 5. The importance of silence for world peace. When language goes too far, it leads to conflicts. Many violent incidents happen due to family disputes. Being family, we often feel entitled to scold each other, leading to unbearable stress. Everyone makes mistakes, but they should be corrected with love and respect. Since you can't control what others say, it's best to control yourself. Those who don't understand your silence might not understand your words either. But when you're silent, the world around you calms down. Time will quietly heal the cracks. Never miss a chance to be silent. Remember, the mouth can harm the body, so be careful with your words. 11. Different forms of silence. Silence is a language. It can answer delicate questions, leaving the other person satisfied because body language reveals the needed response. This happens when two people meet. But if silence is paired with distance and time, it can turn into torture unless the other person deciphers it. When one person is silent, the other has to guess the reason. This often leads to misunderstandings. Not everyone interprets silence as being busy, out of battery, or out of signal range. Even the most perceptive people can be distracted by someone's silence. 1. Silence as a state of withdrawal. Everyone has moments of sadness from life's pressures. When heartbroken, we often fall silent for hours or days, overwhelmed by sadness and unwilling to talk. We just want to be alone with our sorrow. This is common, but remember, you can't avoid interacting with people forever. 2. Silent treatment in love. Before a silent treatment starts, one partner has likely expressed dissatisfaction, either verbally or through subtle actions. If communication is unclear and issues are not discussed directly, a silent treatment can happen. If a couple can't resolve their differences, prolonged silence can signal the end of the relationship. Love requires communication, openness, and understanding. The same goes for work. Lack of genuine communication can complicate matters. 3. Silence from extreme frustration. When frustration peaks, you might stop speaking. Initially, you express your thoughts and hopes for understanding. But if the listener seems uninterested, your moderate frustration turns extreme. They may not understand or care about your feelings, leading you to feel it's pointless to speak further. 4. Silence as rejection. After an interview, no response often means rejection. If you propose an idea and get no reaction, it's a silent rejection. If you text someone to flirt and get no reply, they likely aren't interested and don't want to be bothered. 5. Silence to listen and learn. Sometimes, silence is golden. When you're wrong, listening silently to corrections is crucial. This is when silence is most valuable, especially with body language showing regret. Silence also shows focus when absorbing useful information. In conversations, one person listens while the other speaks, allowing you to gather valuable insights. 6. Silence to solve problems. Not everyone can make quick decisions, especially important ones. Silence provides space to think, assess, and prepare. You might choose silence depending on the situation and how you want others to perceive you. If you want someone to dislike you, be silent. If you want them to know you're listening, be silent. If you want them to leave you alone, be silent. However, silence isn't always the best solution for every problem. 12. The amazing health benefits of silence. Silence is valued differently by each person depending on the context. Many people prefer silence when resting or relaxing, and even while working to improve productivity. From a medical perspective, silence offers many health benefits that are often overlooked. 1. Silence lowers blood pressure. High blood pressure, often called the silent killer, can seriously impact our health. For those with high blood pressure, silence can help lower it. A study found that just 2 minutes of silence can reduce both blood pressure and heart rate. This information is particularly helpful if you have blood pressure issues, heart rhythm disorders, or experience hot flashes. 2. Silence improves focus and memory. Many people work in noisy environments, even in modern offices. While some believe that background music or brainwave music can enhance focus and reduce stress, studies suggest otherwise. In a small study, 59 participants were asked to perform concentration-demanding tasks in different environments: silence, background chatter, and background music. The results showed that those working in silence performed significantly better and experienced much less stress. Thus, silence can greatly enhance focus and memory, leading to more effective work. 3. Silence reduces negative thoughts. Negative thoughts are a sign of anxiety. While silence might seem like it would amplify these thoughts, it actually helps reduce them, bringing peace to the mind. Many mental exercises like meditation emphasize silence. This state helps the mind clear away worries. 4. Silence reduces dementia risk. Research on animals shows that 2 hours of silence a day can improve brain development, especially in the hippocampus, which is associated with emotions and memory. Scientists believe that maintaining 2 hours of silence daily could help prevent dementia. 5. Silence reduces cortisol and improves sleep. Cortisol, a hormone produced by the adrenal glands, can cause sleep problems when levels are too high. High cortisol levels spike in overwhelming situations or stimulating events. On the other hand, silence can lower cortisol levels, helping you stay calm and sleep better. Silence is not just for resting the body, but also for calming the mind and providing numerous health benefits. If possible, try to enjoy 1 to 2 hours of silence each day. You can meditate, relax in a quiet room, or simply remove your headphones and put your phone aside. This simple practice can significantly improve your health. 13. When to stay silent. Sometimes we need to speak up, even a lot, to benefit ourselves and others. However, there are times when silence is more valuable, especially when what the other person needs most is to be heard. So, when should we stay silent? 1. Stay silent to avoid jealousy and envy. Jealousy is hating those who are better than us. In school, it means being envious of those who are smarter. At work, it means resenting those who are more skilled, more trusted, hold higher positions, or make more money. Jealousy and envy take away time to appreciate our own value and the good things in life. They only harm our spirit and trap us in negative emotions. So, be calm and optimistic when facing your rivals. Always believe in yourself. Don't get discouraged if you haven't succeeded yet, and trust in your future. Moving towards a better future helps you understand the value of silence. 2. Stay silent to avoid arrogance when praised. When others praise you, it means you have succeeded in your field. However, everyone has strengths and weaknesses, so don't become arrogant. Don't let compliments make you lose yourself and become conceited. Over time, this will only lead to others disliking and distancing themselves from you. In these moments, staying silent and listening to praise is key to earning others' trust. 3. Stay silent when others are sad or suffering. Don't laugh when others are down. This shows good manners and empathy. Laughing only makes you look foolish in such situations. Some cry with tears, others with silence. What they need most is either private space or a quiet listener. This is the value of silence in everyday life. 4. Stay silent when others don't understand you. Each of us is unique with our own thoughts. Others don't have to fully understand you, so don't expect someone to know everything about you. If you feel that someone doesn't understand you or doesn't want to, staying silent is best. Being stubborn will only lead to unnecessary arguments and conflicts. 5. Stay silent when others talk about things you don't know. Edison once said, "What we know is a drop. What we don't know is an ocean." There are things we don't understand or know about, and that's normal. Stay silent to listen and broaden your knowledge.
If you like this video, please comment 1. And if you don't, comment 2. Your feedback means a lot to us. Thank you for your valuable time.
14. The importance of silence for our brain. Silence has a positive impact on our brain. It brings comfort, nurtures us, and provides warmth. Silence opens us up to inspiration and nurtures our mind, body, and soul. 1. Noise, hurts, and silence. Heals. Everyone experiences the value of silence at some point in their lives. Silence brings comfort, nurturing, and warmth. It inspires us and nurtures our mind, body, and soul. On the other hand, noise drowns creativity, hinders inner connection, and obstructs our ability to recover. Science shows that silence may be what we need to rejuvenate our exhausted brain and body. Studies have shown that noise has a powerful physical impact on our brain, raising stress hormone levels. Sound reaches the brain as electrical signals through the ears. Even when we are sleeping, these sound waves make the body react and activate the amygdala, the part of the brain associated with memory and emotions, leading to the release of stress hormones. Therefore, living in a noisy environment continuously exposes you to high levels of these harmful hormones. The word noise is believed to come from the Latin word noxia, which means harm or injury. Noise is linked to high blood pressure, heart disease, tinnitus, and insomnia. We've all experienced the adverse effects of noise pollution. Excessive noise can be a major problem for our physical senses, and today, more people identify as highly sensitive and unable to function in chaotic, noisy environments. But now, science has evidence that not only does noise cause harm, but silence also heals. 2. The effects of silence. In 2011, the World Health Organization, WHO, examined and quantified the health of residents in Europe, who concluded that 340 million Western Europeans, equivalent to the population of the United States, lose millions of healthy life years each year due to noise. WHO also reported that excessive noise is a major cause of 3,000 heart disease deaths. A study by Professor Gary W. Evans from Cornell University, published in Psychological Science, outlined the effects of airport noise on students near Munich Airport. The study showed that children exposed to noise developed a stress response that led them to ignore the noise. This study provides some of the strongest, clearest evidence that noise, even at levels that do not cause any hearing damage, still causes stress and is harmful to humans. Scientists did not plan to study the effects of silence, but they discovered its benefits by chance. Silence first appeared in scientific research as a control or baseline, against which scientists compared the effects of noise or music. In 2006, Dr. Luciano Bernardi studied the physiological effects of noise and music and made an astonishing discovery. When his subjects were exposed to random, extended periods of silence between noise and music, they experienced a powerful effect. 2 minutes of silence helped their brains relax more than the relaxation from listening to music or the longer silence before the experiment began. And the 2-minute quiet intervals after noise became the most important aspect of the study. One of his key findings was that silence is enhanced by contrast. 3. The brain recognizes and reacts to silence. Many meditation teachers and practitioners can attest to this, and spiritual teachers advise their students to take breaks from meditation throughout the day. Scientists suggest that the brain recognizes and reacts strongly to silence. Subsequent research by Duke University's regenerative biologist, Imke Kiersta, found that 2 hours of silence a day prompted cell growth in the hippocampus, the brain region related to memory formation and sensory processing. 4. Taking time to disconnect from noise. According to the attention restoration theory, when you're in an environment with lower sensory input, the brain can recover some of its cognitive abilities. In today's digital world, our brains have less time to rest and recover. We constantly process vast amounts of information. Research has shown that the continuous demand for attention in modern life puts a lot of stress on our prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for decision-making, problem-solving, and more. When we spend time alone in silence, our brains can relax and release this constant focus. Silence helps new cells differentiate into neurons and integrate into the neural system. When we experience silence, our brains can better understand our internal and external environments, the meaning of life, and future perspectives. 15. The silence of the old Zen master. Late at night, the old Zen master noticed a chair next to the monastery wall and immediately realized that a monk had climbed over the wall to sneak out. The old Zen master quietly walked over to the wall, moved the chair aside, and sat down in its place. Soon after, there was a noise outside, and a young monk climbed over the wall to get back in, stepping on the Zen master's shoulders as he jumped into the courtyard. When he landed, he realized he had stepped on his master, not a chair. Terrified, he stood still, unable to say a word, expecting punishment. Contrary to the young monk's fears, the master did not scold him. Instead, he gently said, "It's late and cold outside. Put on some warmer clothes." Feeling deeply ashamed, the young monk never sneaked out again. He dedicated himself to his studies and eventually became a famous monk of his time. 16. How to handle criticism. There's a saying, call it an ox or call it a horse, which means whether people insult or praise you, it doesn't matter. This saying comes from a story told by Zhuangzi. There was a man named Shi Chengqi who thought he was very wise. He often heard people praise Laozi for his great wisdom, so he traveled a long distance to meet him. When he saw Laozi's messy house, he got angry and said, "People say you are a wise sage, but your house is as messy as a rat's nest. I traveled hundreds of miles to meet you, and you're no different from a rat." Laozi didn't react at all. After insulting him, Shi Chengqi left. The next day, he felt guilty and came back to apologize. Laozi calmly replied, "I have long thrown away the title of sage like an old shoe. If I have truly attained the great Tao, it doesn't matter if you call me an ox, a horse, or a rat. I am still myself." Living in this world, it's hard to avoid anger, criticism, or even slander from others. If you get upset because of this, it's really not worth it. Buddhism teaches that a person should remain unmoved by the winds from all 8 directions. The more intensely you react to others' slander, the more endless it becomes. It's better to stay calm, like water off a duck's back. Zhuangzi once mentioned an interesting analogy of the empty boat. If you're rowing and another boat bumps into yours, you might get angry if there's someone in it who isn't steering properly. But if the boat is empty, just drifting with the wind, would you still be angry? People often think too highly of themselves, seeing themselves as the center of the universe. This self-importance leads to disputes. If you adopt the empty boat mindset, life will have fewer conflicts, and you'll be less prone to anger. Many issues in life can't be solved with anger. Letting go, not seeing yourself as the center, can help resolve conflicts more easily. 17. The beggar who wanted to swap places with the Bodhisattva. A beggar happened to pass by a busy temple and decided to enter out of curiosity. Inside, he saw a bodhisattva sitting peacefully on a lotus throne. The beggar asked the bodhisattva, "Can I take your place?" The bodhisattva replied, "As long as you sit here without saying anything, you can." Thinking it was an easy task, the beggar agreed and sat on the lotus throne. Before him, people came with various requests, but he remained silent as promised. One day, a wealthy man came to pray. "Please grant me virtue," he said, bowing repeatedly. As he prayed, his money pouch fell, but he didn't notice. The beggar wanted to inform him, but remembered his promise and kept silent. After the wealthy man left, a poor man came in. "Please help me, Bodhisattva. I need money to save my sick family member," he prayed. When he lifted his head, he saw the money pouch and joyfully exclaimed, "The Bodhisattva is truly miraculous." He quickly took the money and left. Next, a fisherman came to pray for safety at sea. Just as he finished, the wealthy man returned, realizing he had lost his money. He accused the fisherman of stealing it. They began to fight, each adamant about their side. Unable to bear the sight, the beggar shouted, "Stop!" He stepped down and explained everything. The situation was resolved, but the bodhisattva then asked him, "Do you think you handled it well? You're better off being a beggar. You spoke the truth, believing it was just, but the poor man can no longer save his family. The wealthy man missed an opportunity to do good, and the fisherman will now face danger at sea. If you had kept silent, the poor man could save his family, the wealthy man would have earned merit, and the fisherman would have avoided the storm due to the delay." The beggar realized his mistake, bowed, and quietly left. Life lesson about silence. This story teaches us that staying silent can be a challenging wisdom to practice. From this, we learn to let things happen naturally. Sometimes trying to help can actually cause harm. In life, situations that seem good can turn out bad, and what appears bad can become perfect. This unpredictability adds beauty to life. Thus, having the ability to remain silent and observe is a kind of strength, and living in harmony with nature is a form of happiness. 18. Story of monk Dai Hung and his child. There was a monk named Dai Hung, and I'd like to share a story about him and a girl named Ngok Trin. Long ago, while monk Dai Hung was meditating on a mountain, there was a wealthy family living at the foot of the mountain. They had a daughter named Ngok Trin, who had been engaged to the son of another noble family. 3 years after their engagement, Ngok Trin became pregnant and gave birth to a baby boy. Her parents were ashamed, scared, and angry. They pressured Ngok Trin to reveal the truth. Unable to bear the pressure, she lied and said that the father of her baby was monk Dai Hung from the mountain. Ngok Trin's father was furious. He took his servants up the mountain, causing a commotion at the temple. They beat, cursed, and insulted Monk Dai Hung, demanding that he take care of the baby. Monk Dai Hung quietly accepted the child, gently saying, Amitabha. From then on, Monk Dai Hung's reputation was ruined. Wherever he went, people despised, mocked, and insulted him. Even the other monks no longer respected him. Despite this, he never complained. Every day, he went down the mountain to beg for milk to feed the child. Thanks to Monk Dai Hung's care, the boy grew up healthy and intelligent. 3 years passed in a blink of an eye. One day, Ngoc Trin's family came back to the mountain. This time, they didn't scold or insult him. Instead, they knelt down, bowed, and asked for his forgiveness, begging him to let them take the child back home. It turned out that the real father of the child was Ngoc Trin's current husband, the same man she was engaged to years ago. To protect her fiancé's reputation, Ngoc Trin had falsely accused Monk Dai Hung. Even then, Monk Dai Hung, with his calm and serene demeanor, led the child to his parents and respectfully said, Amitabha, before returning to his meditation room. For 3 long years, Monk Dai Hung silently endured the injustice without defending himself, explaining, or complaining. His silence spoke louder than any words. Some might say that, when treated unfairly, everyone has the right to seek justice. This is not only a legal right, but also a principle of fairness in society. However, for wise and enlightened individuals, all worldly fame, gain, emotions, and grievances are as fleeting as clouds. To maintain inner peace, one must regard honor and disgrace as lightly as a flower that blooms in the morning and withers in the evening. To remain unaffected by fame and fortune, one must view them as transient as gathering and dispersing clouds. Thus, gaining or losing honor or disgrace, none of it disturbs the serene state of their mind like the still surface of a lake. If you find these stories inspiring and they motivate you to take action, please comment 9. If not, comment 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Thank you for your valuable time. 19. The King and the Monk. Long ago in India, there was a famous monk who lived deep in a quiet forest, far from the noise of the world. He was known for his deep meditation and was famous throughout India. One day, a king visited him and said, "Respected monk, I always feel tired, angry, and troubled. My mind is chaotic even though I have everything, wealth, fame, and all the luxuries one could want. But inside, I have no peace. Please help me clear my chaotic mind." The monk replied, "You already have the answer within yourself, but you haven't discovered it yet. I want to try an experiment. Will you participate? After this, your life will no longer be filled with turmoil and worry." The king was troubled by this, but asked what he needed to do. The monk gently replied, "For the next 15 days, live in my monastery as an ordinary person. During these days, sit alone, stay silent, and speak as little as possible." The king agreed to the monk's plan. On the first day, he found his mind more restless than usual. Many questions and thoughts appeared, making him uncomfortable. He really wanted to talk but restrained himself, staying silent and still. By nightfall, he began to feel a peace and happiness he hadn't expected. This experience puzzled him because he couldn't understand why his chaotic mind was calming down. The next day, the king continued to spend time alone, observing nature, flowers, and birds. For the first time, he truly appreciated the beauty of the nature around him. He could observe and connect with the natural world. 10 days passed, and all his inner restlessness and chaos gradually disappeared. On the 12th day, he found himself sinking into deep meditation as his eyes closed on their own. After spending the last 3 days in deep meditation, the king approached the monk and said, "Respected monk, I have discovered why my mind was so troubled." He explained, "I realize that I often talk too much and spend a lot of energy on others, usually thinking negatively about them. This excessive talking and negative thinking wasted my time and made my mind chaotic. As a result, I couldn't do my duties effectively and started failing at everything. These constant failures made me even sadder and more irritable, affecting my life negatively. However, these 15 days have been a transformative experience. Now, I feel like I'm truly living the right way and understand that before, I was living wrongly. I also realize that we don't need to force meditation. It happens naturally." The monk gently replied, "Not just you. Many people in the world talk too much. Today, many use words to hurt others, and this excessive talking continues to cause problems in their lives." The monk shared with the king the importance of silence and told a story about a disciple who asked Buddha why he often remained silent. Buddha replied, "I stay silent to delve deeper into myself. Silence is the first step to truly understanding oneself. Without silence, self-discovery is impossible." The monk continued, "It's not just the king. Many people talk too much. Many problems can be avoided if people remain silent. Someone who understands the value of silence can be peaceful even in a crowded place. Being alone can feel like heaven, while the presence of others can sometimes make us uncomfortable. The most important thing is to start by seeking peace within yourself and embracing silence. Invite your thoughts to stop. If you wake up feeling confused by the presence of others, close your eyes and reconnect with yourself. You will feel refreshed because life originates from within, not from others. When no one else can take you inside, you must do it yourself. So, look inside because you are the ruler of your inner life. That's where life begins, and that's where happiness is born. When you look inside, you will touch the depths of life and even feel the movement of death. This inner journey is like watching your life go through ups and downs, like the sun rising and setting. Every time you make this inner journey and return, you will feel refreshed. It's like feeling cool after a pleasant bath. Similarly, when someone takes time to stay silent and think about their thoughts, they often feel more peaceful and happy afterward. When you truly connect with your inner self, talking doesn't confuse your mind. Instead, there is always a sense of inner peace. You can talk while maintaining your connection with your inner self. You can use words without losing inner peace. When you do this, your words will carry great quality, like music, and everything will blend and harmonize. Speaking in this way will deeply touch the souls of others. When you maintain inner silence, you begin to access a strong inner power and free yourself from social pressure. You will find a special joy in life, similar to the joy of those who pursue their passions. Your face will shine with a new light, and your eyes will sparkle with a special glow when you immerse yourself in the ocean of endless peace. You can realize that talking too much does not bring peace to the soul. Instead, it makes it hard to control thoughts and maintain focus. People who talk too much often have difficulty focusing on a task, so they cannot give their full attention to their goals and often miss out on understanding the true meaning of life, making it harder to achieve their aspirations. Moreover, you may notice that people who talk too much are sometimes mocked by others, while those who speak less gain respect because people tend to pay attention to what a quiet person says and trust their words. A restless soul often struggles to succeed because they lack genuine interest in their work. True wisdom lies in knowing when, where, and what to say, and those who develop this skill often succeed in many situations. A person who speaks less often becomes the center of attention and frequently succeeds in many fields. When we observe the traits of great people, we see they use few words carefully, considering what they say, and this contributes to their success. On the contrary, many who talk excessively often turn to dishonesty and spread negativity about others, harming relationships and reputations. Thus, people around them often keep their distance. 20. The joy of a father and daughter. On a train, there was a father and his daughter. The girl, about 10 years old, wore a small red cotton jacket with big, bright eyes. The father wore old, outdated clothes. As the train started, the little girl was very excited, looking out the window with joy. She said, "Dad, are we passing by the chives field that we often eat? They look so lush." The girl's voice was very clear, and many people who heard her looked out the window. They saw that it wasn't chives, but a field of barley. "That's not chives, it's barley used to make buns," the father corrected her. The girl continued to describe the yellow wildflowers as green and the big billboard as a small blackboard. The father didn't get angry. He just smiled and corrected her gently. Hearing the girl's words, a woman nearby couldn't help but laugh and said, "I can't believe such a pretty girl has something wrong with her mind." Although the woman spoke softly, the father heard her. His face showed a moment of embarrassment, but then he smiled kindly and said, "I'm sorry. My daughter has never been able to see before. She just had surgery, and this is her first time seeing the world, so she's a bit excited. I hope we didn't disturb anyone." After speaking, the father held his daughter close and gently asked her to speak more quietly. The girl was stunned for a moment. Then her face showed sadness as she rested her head on the table. Noticing his daughter's change, the father tried his best to talk with her. Despite his efforts to cheer her up, the girl remained silent and uninterested. We often judge people by their appearance, making quick assessments based on first impressions. But judging without understanding someone's situation is often inaccurate and can be seriously wrong. When we don't know the whole story, it's best not to comment, as doing so can sometimes destroy someone else's happiness in an instant. People learn to speak at age 2 but spend a lifetime learning when to stay silent. Not saying hurtful things is a form of self-discipline and kindness. 21. Before and after. Not justifying oneself. During the Eastern Jin dynasty, Cao Feng served as a censor in Jiangsu and was an assistant to Zhang Song. There was a student named Duan Hongtian at the military school who had stolen wood from the government to make household items. When Zhang Song found out, he was furious and wanted to kill Duan Hongtian. To save his life, Duan Hongtian falsely claimed that Cao Feng had told him to do it. Zhang Song then asked Cao Feng to verify this. Unexpectedly, Cao Feng admitted to it, and as a result, Duan Hongtian was spared from execution. Zhang Song then gave Cao Feng 10,000 strings of coins and a horse and dismissed him. Cao Feng quietly left without ever defending himself. Later, Zhang Song had to call Cao Feng back. Over a year later, one of Zhang Song's close aides told him that Cao Feng had admitted guilt to save a life. Zhang Song was astonished and treated Cao Feng with even greater respect and kindness. 22. Silence is the way of the wise. Ancient teachings say that speaking is a skill, but silence is the behavior of the wise. Why have the sages always been silent? Because they see all worldly matters as trivial, distancing themselves from the chaos of the world to keep their minds calm like a still lake. Nguyen Trai retired to live in seclusion, befriending nature with clouds as neighbors and mountains as guests. Nguyen Bin Kiem also chose to live away from the chaos, seeking peace in solitude rather than in the bustling world. Life is noisy and busy, pulling people into a never-ending whirlpool from which they cannot escape. In the blink of an eye, everything passes, and only then do people realize their souls have been clouded by the dust of the world, weighed down by material temptations. In this chaos, Only the calm minds of the sages can rise above the madness of the world. The ancients taught that remembering this principle of dealing with people will help you live more wisely. Words, once spoken, are like arrows released from a bow. Wounds on the body may heal over time, but some words can haunt a person for life, until they die. So, never speak in anger. We've all heard this before, but when faced with conflict or dissatisfaction, controlling our emotions can be difficult. Anger clouds judgment, leading to regrettable actions. Take the story of Genghis Khan. In the desert, desperately thirsty, his beloved falcon knocked over his water 3 times. In a fit of rage, he killed the bird, only to later discover that the water was poisoned by a deadly snake. The falcon had saved his life 3 times, but Genghis Khan's regret came too late. We often think we are angry for others' sake, but this is like fighting fire with fire, stirring negative emotions. This is why there are often tragic stories in the news, triggered by hurtful words. Anger not only harms others but also burns up our own health and fortune. Loving your enemies and helping those who hurt you can bring you blessings. Anger closes doors to opportunities. Secondly, always respect others. Whether a king or a beggar, everyone has self-respect. Respecting others is also respecting yourself. If you think you have the right to control your spouse or children, life becomes stifling and filled with arguments. Even children need respect. Asking for their opinions and respecting their decisions makes them more responsible. As a boss, imposing your views may lead to compliance out of fear, but not genuine respect. When people feel respected, they willingly take responsibility. Without respect, they might rebel and cause harm. Respecting others brings harmony to your family and success at work without stress. Thirdly, change your perspective. Everyone's upbringing and experiences shape their unique views. Using your own standards to judge others can lead to conflict. When someone seems difficult, try to understand their perspective. This can lead to new, moving experiences. Parents want obedient children, but each child is an individual with their own thoughts. Rushing them in the morning or criticizing their clumsiness only frustrates them. Understanding their world can change your perspective. Giving gifts you like might not be what they want. Your neatness might clash with their messiness. When you feel annoyed with someone, they might feel the same about you. Everything is relative. There is no absolute right or wrong. Understanding and blending differences brings beauty to life. Fourthly, always observe your thoughts. Controlling emotions and behavior starts with being mindful of your thoughts. Emotions are like wild horses. Without control, they can cause havoc. Sages valued moral cultivation, reviewing their thoughts and actions daily to improve themselves. Mindful observation helps you recognize and correct flaws, aligning your values. This understanding prevents wasting time on meaningless pursuits and helps you focus on what truly matters. We often try to change others, forgetting that we can only change ourselves. When our hearts change, our circumstances change too. Improving yourself makes you like a precious gem, naturally attracting good things. Fifthly, silence is golden. Too much talking, even if wise, can become tiresome. Empty vessels make the most noise. Deep waters flow silently. Silence doesn't mean incompetence. It adds value. Silence shows respect and allows understanding. Talking too much can overshadow others, making them feel insignificant. By staying silent, you can observe more and show humility. Listening makes others feel valued and open up to you. Trouble comes from the mouth. Disease enters through the mouth. Silence gives time to calm down and avoid hurtful words. Keeping secrets and staying silent avoids unnecessary conflicts. Words can be misinterpreted, causing misunderstandings and damaging relationships. Only through constant self-improvement can one find true happiness and luck. These golden principles involve controlling personal desires and avoiding hurting others, creating harmony and a happy life for all.
If you like this video, please comment 1. And if you don't, comment 2. Your feedback means a lot to us. Thank you for your valuable time.